Okay, so we've got this acidy sound, and what we want to do is just have it sort of more driving and a bit more movement, and just a bit more interesting in general. And I'm going to go in, and I'm going to take this overdrive off, and I found a set of plugins, free amp sim plugins, and I'll put links on the forums to them, and they're available for PC and Mac, and sound pretty cool. So I'm going to use these. Some of them weren't working too well, but this one seems to work okay. And what I'm going to do is just sort of add some filters and automate them at the clip level. And then we'll sort of duplicate it up and create a couple of different filter type sweeps. So I'm going to add an auto filter. And I'm going to play about with some of these sounds. And what I want is sort of just a sweep down at the start of this. That sounded pretty cool. And then what we can do is go into our envelopes, select our auto filter, and it's set to frequency, and we can draw in some curves and try and get some nice sort of loopy sweep sounds. And then what we're going to do is duplicate this and then do something on the sort of opposite end. And we're going to then change this sound. Just going to turn the delay dry wet down a bit so it's just not as delay. And we can edit our synth, add a bit of a filter envelope. And we'll play about with our envelopes again. And we'll add a bit of reverb onto those as well. And we're getting on this one, we're getting like a sweep up at the start. Because basically what's happening is the filter is trying to get from here right back up to there. So it's giving that whoop sound. So we want to get the filter back up to the top before it comes round. And we'll see what that sounds like with our bass as well. And we can group those two together. And we'll actually turn down the reverb on the individual channels and just put it on the group. We'll play everything together, see what it sounds like. Just creating a bit more space by removing a couple of the notes. And we can play about with those later on when we sort of add some movement in the track. And then I want to have a quick look at this sound as well. So move along. The other thing we need to just quickly do is put our acid sounds in. We'll remove all the other stuff. So I'm not exactly sure at this point where we're going to put those, but we'll have a couple of sections anyway with them in. So next I want to look at this sound and just make it a bit more lush, I suppose. So just adding a bit of detune, bring the filter up maybe a bit. And just turn our delay down a fair bit. That's sounding pretty good. See what it sounds like with our track. Maybe just a tiny bit more delay. And then quickly while we're here, I just want to edit the pad sound, so it's just sounding a bit flat. So I'm just going to copy the oscillator. So click C for copy and P for paste, and then I'm just going to bring it an octave up. Add a on the silent treble quite nicely, so it works quite well in pads. And then what I'll do, one thing I wanted to have a look at was the reverb as well. So if you notice on some of the sounds, let me have a listen to. If you turn the reverb up on the stab sound, so you hear like a delay sort of thing at the start, and I'm finding this is sort of muddying things up a bit. And this is the ER, or the early reflections on our reverb. And Ableton has separate early reflections and late reflections on its plugin as well. So you should be able to edit them. So I'm just going to turn them right down. It just gives us a smoother overall reverb sound. And also, there's a lot of bottom end in our reverb, so I'm just going to cut it off with a filter. And I'm going to ease back a bit on the threshold of the compressor on the reverb. It's just pumping a bit too much, and put a bit more release on it. In the next video, we're going to take a look at fine-tuning our main riff.